What's up, guys? It's Kictor. I'm here with my beautiful fiance Stitch to talk about the new Scum Villain Extra. So this PowerPoint is called Scum Villain New Extra. Everything the fandom could have wanted and more. Do not give up on your fandoms. They may get an update decades later.
Hell yeah.
I think like Scum Villain was posted in like 2014 or 2015 originally.
So it's been a whole decade.
Yeah. Are we ready? What could it be about? Perhaps an adventure?
I hope they do something even freakier than the wine bottle. Oh my goodness.
He's alive.
Is that like Shen Yuan? He's hot?
He's
Was anyone
hot.
gonna tell me he's hot?
Right? Okay, so
does he like wake up and it's like, you've been in a coma for like 17 years? Or like, maybe not 17 years. For like 17 minutes.
well, actually, it starts with Shen Qingqiu waking up in the hospital next to Shang Qinghua.
What? How are they next to each other?
And he's hearing a young doctor ranting about how shitty a novel Pride Immortal Demon Way is.
Okay, well, Shang Qinghua is lucky that the doctor didn't just yank the plugs on him, because that sounds like he was getting pretty close.
When the doctor finally leaves, Shang Qinghua is like, "Why didn't you defend me, bro?" And Shen Qingqiu yanks the curtain between them closed.
Okay, so are neither of them phased at the situation that they're in?
Don't worry, it gets explained.
I guess they've been in worse, technically.
Since Scum Villain got a modern extra, I couldn't help but think, what if Heaven Official's Blessing got a modern extra? And I've got some friends to help introduce today's sponsor. Thank you to Yume Twins for sponsoring this video. We want to invite everyone to experience Japan kawaii culture from the comfort of your own home through this box.
It's Miku.
Yume Twins is a monthly kawaii subscription box that delivers high-quality cute plushies and trending super kawaii items straight from Japan to your doorstep. Each month, you will receive a box full of cute Japanese merchandise ranging from plushies, squishies, daily practical goods, and kawaii stationery specially curated and handpicked for you. The monthly theme is Project Winter Duet. First up is the Hatsune Miku Yura Yura head figure.
Oh, hell
yeah, let's see her bobble.
Wait, is
okay.
she a bobblehead?
Oh, she bobbling.
Oh God,
my
that's so
god.
cute.
And the Hatsune Miku Cinema Roll plushie.
Little tail.
Oh yes.
That's my favorite part.
There's also the sparkly Hatsune Miku card set.
Oh, and there's
Eating a little tangerine.
With this exclusive Hatsune Miku and Sanrio merch, this makes the perfect gift for yourself or a loved one. Use code KICTOR and my link down below for a discount. So it turns out, one day, Shen Qingqiu and Shang Qinghua, within the, Scum Villain universe that we know, receive a system notification that they can spend 1 week in their original world. We find out that Shen Qingqiu did not die in the original world, and he was merely in a state of suspended consciousness.
Okay.
Which contradicts everything we thought we knew. We totally thought he died, because he
Yeah.
believed the consequence if he died in the Scum Villain world, he would wake up dead in his real world.
Wake up dead.
Yeah. Yeah, he realizes that the food poisoning shouldn't have put him in a coma, so that means that his sheer rage at Proud Immortal Demon Way was what put him in shock.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't the food, it was how mad he got.
That's amazing.
That's how heated he got.
Okay, so what's Shang Qinghua's excuse?
He was fully electrocuted.
Okay, fair enough.
So, Shen Qingqiu and Shang Qinghua accepted the system's offer to go into their worlds.
Nice.
It says, purchase first, examine the terms later. They thought that they would be able to talk to their husbands about their planned absence, and it would be easy. But a catastrophic issue occurred.
Uh-oh.
It immediately yoinked them out. There was no other screen to accept or use the power. Just boom, you're gone.
Oh my god. Okay, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because if I was to be yanked into another world unexpectedly without being able to like notify you first, I would be afraid for my life. I'd be in so much trouble. I would be in so much trouble. You get mad when I'm in the laundry room for too long and you don't know where I am. Like, you're like, where are you? How could you worry me like that?
So imagine Bingha.
Imagine Bingha. You just up and disappear on Bingha?
Yep.
Of all demons?
Yeah, and that's how they ended up unprepared in this ridiculous situation. When you transmigrate to the modern world without considering the consequences, this little maneuver is going to cost us 51 years. So,
God, okay, so it only stuck there for a week though. So at most,
yeah, that's why it's not like the
it's not
absolute
like-
worst. You don't know how
no.
the time
Oh my
difference
God,
works.
what if they're like gone for like 10 years?
Well,
and
here
like
we go.
in the
Here we
Scum
go.
Villain world, this is terrifying.
The timey-wiminess of it all. It turns out, while several years have passed in the Pride Immortal Demon Way universe, only 1 day has passed in the normal modern world.
That's crazy.
This means that each second Shen Yuan is here, a whole hour is passing.
Oh no!
for
Oh
Bingha.
no! I was like, well, that's convenient for like in terms of the modern world. Like, Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my, that's so romantic that every second their part feels like an hour.
And all I can think of is this audio, and I made a little TikTok for it, actually.
I got to get back before Cleveland realizes I'm not in bed.
Stop, that's so funny. I'm an old soul and feel so out of place in today's society.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, now you're back in a world where there's cars and ads and Coca-Cola.
So now they are stuck here, with no way to connect to the other world. Shen Yuan can't even begin to think of what Bing He is doing, but he's incredibly worried. So he decides, since there's nothing he can do about it, he will devote himself to his family instead. Because who knew if he'd ever get such a chance again? So by sheer luck, Shang Qinghua happens to be in the same hospital as him. Shen Yuan was in the VIP wing of the hospital, though, and Shang Qinghua was in a 4-person shared room. Commoner shit.
Wow.
So Shen Qingqiu, now Shen Yuan, gets up and he starts walking around the hospital, and he realizes that he's walking with like the air of a shizun.
It's like there's no place for that in society. You look crazy.
He begins guiding some like elderly people to where like the pharmacy is, and they start gossiping about him, saying like, oh, there's a young man with such an extraordinary presence.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's just radiating Shizun energy. That's
Literally.
Crazy. Oh my god.
Now, Shang Qinghua. While Shen Yuan only suffered food poisoning, Shang Qinghua was actually electrocuted, and his limbs still twitch now and then because of it.
I love the absolute disrespect that MXDX treats him
Yep.
with. He's so funny.
Shen Yuan finds him in the hospital and upgrades him so he can stay in the VIP ward with him.
That's nice.
Shang Qinghua is in disbelief that Shen Yuan is a rich second gen and incredibly good looking.
I'd be pissed, honestly.
Shen Yuan has a moment of nostalgia where he sees his reflection, which he hadn't seen in such a long time.
Oh my god.
He appears clean, relaxed, and effortlessly refined, the picture of an elegant young gentleman, though some may also assume him to be a man of leisure, a charming drifter, perhaps even a party king.
Just look at him and you're like, yeah, that man does not contribute to society. Hot though.
But, just like his favorite flowers that are all over his hospital room, lilies of the valley, which are poisonous, his sister has described his looks as deceptive, because Shen Yuan is actually a stupid otaku homebody.
You're allowed to be a stupid otaku homebody if you're rich.
Yeah.
Then it's like a personality trait, not a vice.
Shang Qinghua doesn't understand why someone so rich and handsome would bother reading his stupid wish fulfillment book. And it truly was because he couldn't help himself. He kept getting whiplash, thinking it was trash and thinking the author might actually have good ideas. But also it's because he loved Lo Binghe so much.
Sometimes your fave is honestly stuck in a piece of media that is garbage. And
Yep.
I know this. I've experienced this personally many a time. When you're like, please don't get it wrong. I am not a fan of this series. I am, however, a fan of this guy.
Yes!
It was not a mistake.
So we find out that Shang Qinghua, hamster, airplane bro's real name is Shang Fei, and he is nothing like Shen Yuan imagined. He is every bit the handsome young man.
Wow,
But-
everyone's handsome. This is so crazy.
But he looked like a shy, introverted high school boy, the kind that would get cornered by the broad-shouldered classmate in a stairwell.
Are you telling me he just has uke energy?
Yes, and Shen Yuan picks up on this. Here is where Shen Yuan's, I would say, affinity for yaoi tropes keeps slipping out. The way he describes Shen Qinghua in this extra always compares him to some kind of BL uke. He even thinks no wonder his idea of male beauty was the proud, sharp-featured type like Mobe-jun. No surprise he idolized the big brother among big brother type. He probably had been pushed around by plenty of them.
Jesus Christ. That's so fun. Reading him for Bell.
Really.
Good lord.
And Shen Yuan adds in, not that he disliked Mobe-jun, he just preferred Lo Binghe's student council president honors student vibe.
There's too much to unpack with that single sentence that is not in the Bible.
Thoughts on this?
What? What is video games? Are we invading another country? What is happening?
Do these items resemble anything you can think of?
Penis.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. So, now, face to face in the real world, they discuss their pen names.
Do they like? I was gonna say like, do they compare dick sizes like immediately, or do they wait?
Or do they wait? Like, eventually they will, but in case you weren't aware, airplane shooting towards the sky. It completely references jerking off. In Chinese, shooting airplanes is jerking off. It's not like a funny play on words. Like, it's literally like that is the word used to like say like jerking off, like for masturbating. So his name is not subtle at all. It is literally like masturbating towards the sky.
Honestly, okay, that is kind of poetic though. That actually encapsulates what Proud Immortal Demon Way was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, you're just jerking off, but your ambitions are still towards the sky. They are so high. They're so noble.
Shoot for the moon.
Even if you miss, you can jizz among the stars.
Oh no.
But you see, I can make it work.
But Shang Qinghua denies that his name is just filth, you know? He says he tried using his real name, Shang Fei, and within the phrase airplane shooting towards the sky, Shang Fei is in there. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a Chinese joke. So he originally tried Shang Fei, then Shang Fei 1, Shang Fei 2, Shang Fei 1, 2, 3, Shang Fei 1, 2, 3, 4, Shang Fei dog, Shang Fei pig, Shang Fei needs a name. It's all taken. So he picked a phrase that no one would ever use because he was so frustrated at not being able to find a name.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so he's like, I had no other choice. I finally found a phrase that no one would dare use.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But then he says, Peerless Cucumber's name isn't much better. You know, biggest, best cock. But Shen Yuan then defends himself and explains that actually it was because his sister was obsessed with a show called Peerless Crown Prince, and on nights when he was too lazy to cook dinner, he would eat cucumbers at midnight while binge reading Proud Immortal Demon Way. So the two fused in his brain.
There's no fucking way. He's lying. He is lying. That man is a liar.
Shang Qinghua focuses more on the part of how dedicated he was to reading Proud Immortal Demon Way morning and night. And Shen Yuan, now seeing Shang Fei's innocent face, he can't bring himself to roast him, and so he shuts the curtain between them once more.
Oh my god, literally his uke beam is so powerful, even Shen Yuan is not immune. That's
true.
Crazy. But, you know, that's why he's not built for him, you know? It's like you need a guy who's still willing to smack him every day.
Yeah, Mobae-jun, the uke beam, when it hits Mobae-jun, he's still...
He gets cuteness aggression and just hits him.
Yes.
Don't rescue him. He's right where he wants to be.
So, Shen Yuan's family comes to visit him at the hospital, and he gets a little choked up. He thinks, how could he not miss his family? But he knew perfectly well there was nothing he could do about it. Thinking too much would only make it worse. So he never allowed himself a moment to dwell on home. He just kept busy, always rushing about. Aww. Yeah. Okay, can you guess what Shen Yuan's brothers do for work?
He has brothers too?
He has 2 brothers. What do you think they do?
One is an alien. No, one is he is in the Arctic and he's like an Arctic researcher. Okay? And then other one is a monk.
Okay.
Or a peach farmer.
Not far off.
A grocer.
I see my memes were quite good.
Thank you.
So his 2 older brother come to visit him in the hospital. One is at an Antarctic research base, and the other was deep in the mountains in search of ancient tea trees.
What? Why?
I feel like they're like protagonists of their own stories somewhere.
Yeah, give me those novels. But did they like rush home right away just for him, or did they just happen to be like on break?
Well, it turns out that they had come to visit when they first got the news that he was in the hospital, and they sent him pictures of his corpse as a token of concern. They're like, man, you look like you were dead. We thought you were dead.
Wow.
They had to go back. We don't get to hang out with them. But they did come when they found out he was
That's
dead.
amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
Dead or just like...
In a coma.
I guess.
So his family comes to visit him. He asks if he can bring Shang Fei home. And no one blinks because he used to bring home abandoned puppies, bathe them in secret, and let them sleep under his blanket.
Do they expect him to bathe Shang Qinghua and let him sleep in the bed? It's like, is the pipeline from puppy to boyfriend really that short?
They're finally about to leave the hospital, and Shang Qinghua is touched that Shen Yuan asked him to come stay at his parents' place, despite them seeing him as a stray dog. But he says, Cucumber Bro, you really do love me, but I gotta go home and work. And what do you think he's gonna work on?
Is he gonna like revise Proud Immortal Demon Way?
No, he's gonna write more. An extra to Pride Immortal Demon Way.
What on earth could he possibly have to put in the extra? Just one extra?
Okay, this is a little fourth wall breaking.
Okay. Is the extra just him, just like he invents a new character that just gets absolutely railed by Mobe-John? No explanation, and then he just sets down the pen, steps away from the keyboard, and he's just like, yeah, I needed that.
Shen Yuan had no faith in that whatsoever. Every reader knew how dangerous it was to write sequels or extras for an old, once popular series. It was pure thankless labor. Readers would just say, it doesn't feel the same anymore. It wasn't anyone's fault, though. Even if the author stayed the same, the readers wouldn't. They walked too far down different paths to meet again at the same cross point. In short, Shen Yuan had a bad feeling that Airplane's next masterpiece would be nothing short of a catastrophe.
Wow, that is very meta.
Is that not so meta?
MXTX is like, if you don't like it, that is your fault.
Yep, I love that. It's
And
like,
you know what?
as she's writing this, she's like, looking at us.
Disclaimer.
Turns out that Shen Yuan has his own suburban villa that he'd been living in, but he goes back to his family's house, which is a downtown apartment in a wide, bright space high above a river on the 95th floor.
What?
Do you know how fucking high 95 floors is?
No.
That's ridiculous.
Do they make buildings that tall?
They do. There's a couple in China.
Dox him right now.
Yeah, I tried to find like what building it probably was, and the one that's like along a river doesn't seem like it has apartment complexes in it, but the other one over here that's in front of a lake does have apartment complexes.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, so anyways, he's here gathered with his family, having dinner, all laughing, but then he feels sad because he doesn't know how to tell them that in a few days he's gonna fall asleep again. Nor could he fathom what Binghe must be going through right now. But then, the fucking doorbell rings.
Oh my god.
His sister answers it and comes back looking shocked. And she says, someone's here for you. A friend.
I can't even imagine it. What is happening?
He hurries towards the door, suddenly stumbling until a hand caught him just in time.
He's in so much fucking trouble. The relief is just gonna turn into like, oh my god, I'm in so much fucking trouble.
He looked up and met a face of breathtaking beauty. Lo Binghe gazed down at him, the last traces of panic in his eyes slowly melting into pure relief. The poor guy was panicking.
How did he find his house? Does he sniff him out?
Yes.
Does he have a tracker in him? I mean, I know he does, but like, does that work in his other body?
Shen Yuan thinks, okay, first I need to calm down Binghe. He's probably so worried. And what am I going to tell my parents? And oh god, I look different. What is Binghe going to think? Does he even recognize me? But all that concern evaporates because Binghe is looking at him with the same gaze he always has in the other world. Even without a word spoken, Shen Yuan knew he had been recognized.
Aw, that's very sweet.
He then quickly excuses them and pushes Binghe into his room.
Stop, that's so funny.
And Binghe is so cute here. Oh my god. I can just picture him looking around, like sitting on his bed. Binghe exhales softly and says, Shizhen, I knew it was you.
Aww.
He then says that Shizhen disappeared for several days, and Mobe-John told him that Shang Xinghua was missing as well. And then they used certain methods, after a few months, traced their locations through their souls.
I'm sorry, a few months?
Yeah, well, think
It's
about
been
how
a-
much the time passes.
It's been a few months?
Yeah.
There'd be fucking nothing left of me from worry. That is incredible. He's like, oh, you just disappeared from the entire universe? No problem. I'll figure out a way.
Yeah.
What? Man, their love.
Shen Yuan knows he is speaking lightly about it, but it really must have been very difficult and painful. But that means Mobe-John is here too. But he went to go find Shang Xinghua. Shen Yuan then panics, wondering if they can get back. But Binghe assures him that his soul is tied to his, so when he returns, so will he. He also says that he'd always recognize his Shizhen, no matter the form. Then, Shen Yuan is like, oh fuck. But deep down, he knew this day would come, that he'd find out he was a transmigrator. But then Binghe shocks everyone and says, so this is your original world and your original self, right?
Well, I guess he's had like a few months to think about
What could have possibly happened, yeah.
So I'm not surprised he put it together after his disappearance.
But you think he put it together after his disappearance. Well, Shen Yuan says, you knew? And Binghe says, of course.
Are you saying he knew longer than that?
What if I told you I knew all along? And
There's-
also, are you winning, Binghe?
There's no way he knew all along.
Oh, but he did.
What?
Binghe said that he confirmed it right after the Demon Clan raided Singchong Mountain, right after his Shizhen had asked him to fight Skyhammer. That was so long ago.
Yeah.
And Binghe was only 14 when he noticed something was off. He said he first suspected in Shuanghu City, meaning he even deduced the right time frame of the transmigration. He put 2 and 2 together, noticing him acting different and the fact that he'd fallen ill with a fever. And he was like, "You would soothe me and save me. Doesn't that seem inconsistent?" Which is hilarious because the whole point of Scum Villain in the beginning is that he can't be too OOC. Well, turns out he was completely OOC the whole time, and Binghe noticed immediately. And it's kind of like, yeah, I think a little abused kid would notice the moment his abuser stops abusing him. In this moment, it also feels like a burden is lifted from Binghe. Now there's no secrets between them. Binghe then says why he never brought it up, and that's because if Shizun never told me, it meant you didn't want to. And if you didn't want to, why would I force you to speak of it? The only thing that matters is that Shizun came to me, that you're here. Where you came from doesn't bother me.
Wow. Respectful king.
I could never.
It is difficult to keep even the smallest secret from you. It's lucky that you don't know where your Christmas presents are hidden.
I've already peeked at all of them. Shen Yuan was speechless. He'd underestimated Lo Binghe by assuming he'd need to sit down for a long emotional talk, maybe even a bit of therapy. But Lo Binghe had already accepted it all years ago.
Damn.
Then, he notices Binghe staring at him unwaveringly, with a profound intensity. No one had ever stared at him with such an unwavering conviction. And unfortunately, this extra is censored because this was published in Chinese. So I couldn't help but assume that there would be an awesome makeout scene here if that wasn't the case.
That's a little bittersweet.
Yeah.
It's a little bittersweet.
But Shen Yuan is like, "Oh man, we gotta go out to my family." And Binghe is so excited to meet them. He gives Binghe some of his clothes to put on. And
Okay, so did he show up in like full...
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
I mean, how else would he? It's not like he necessarily knows what the vibe is in a different world.
Yeah, so Binghe arrived in his robes. So Shen
There's
Yuan...
like some fucking cosplayers here to see you.
Bro, literally. He gives Binghe some of his clothes to put on, and he hears his mom explaining cosplay to his family when they come back in.
His mom's explaining it?
Apparently his
Okay,
dad
mother.
was giving them a look, and his mom was like, "Lots of young people are into cosplay these days." But his dad is being weird about it, saying that Binghe is a little too good at the play part of cosplay.
What does that even mean?
And then his sister says, "Play's over, they're coming out." And I'm like,
Are they just
are
like...
they thinking that something gay is happening here?
Yeah, that's very strange.
Either his dad knows about transmigration and assumes Binghe is actually from another world, or he thinks they're doing something kinky in their bedroom.
And one seems a little bit more likely than the other.
Shen Yuan had told Binghe how to greet his family, so he does so perfectly, calling them auntie and uncle, and his mom calls him Xiao Luo, which is so cute.
So cute.
Shen Yuan then introduces Binghe as his gaming disciple. He says that Binghe is cosplaying the final boss in an online game that they play, and he came over to show him his costume for a live event they're going to.
Listen, I say this with all love and respect in my heart, as someone who is just as much of a nerd, but that is so cringe.
I know.
I'm sorry, that's just like crashing into the reality of him being such an otaku that this is like an explanation his family will accept. Oh, it's one of your little nerd things with your nerdy friends. You have online friends and sometimes you play games with them.
Yes,
Wow.
and this is your disciple. His family keeps complimenting him, saying that Binghe looks so good. And Binghe blushes, saying, "I'm quite ordinary. It's my Shizun whose appearance is truly breathtaking.
Oh my
he
God.
is akin to a celestial being."
Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, the father just sitting there being like, I don't know about this, guys. Okay, I think the fact that he had to say gaming disciple because he knows that Shizun is going to come out of his mouth like
Yes.
5 seconds from now. And there's nothing he can do to stop that.
Yes. Shen Yuan says that Binghe is actually majoring in classical literature too, so he just talks like that.
Shut the fuck up. Actually, it would have been a lot easier to say, Binghe's on the spectrum, so just he's just going to be a little different. Cultivation novels are a special interest, so... Oh, how cutesy.
Very cutesy.
Okay, a little doggy hair tie.
Shen Yuan's sister then gives Binghe, who has his long, wild hair, out, a hair tie. She says, "Here, use this," because they're eating. And he accepts it politely and earnestly. And I love scenes like this, just the out-of-place character being like, "Oh, thank you." It reminds me of Thor when he enters, like, the modern world, you
Yes.
know?
Like, what does he do with the hair tie?
Well, he looks at the hairband, and it has a cotton puppy attached to it. It was a goofy-looking dog with a bib. And Shen Yuan reaches over, and ties his hair up for him.
That's crazy. Okay, cut that part.
And Shen Yuan thinks, not bad, cute even. I can't believe he tied his hair in front of everyone. That was crazy.
I'm sorry. Has he no fear? That's crazy.
Something about Lo Binghe suited cute in an unnerving, natural way.
You know, he's finally recognizing that Binghe has baby girl potential.
Yes, yes. Then we find out that the dog on the hair tie is actually Ben Ben. And Shen Yuan got this custom made in his image. Ben Ben was a dog that Shen Yuan secretly brought home in 6th grade after he found it hit by a car. He bandaged it up, shared meals with him, and let it sleep in his bed. And it was his little baby.
Oh my god.
Shen Yuan gets all embarrassed, but Binghe says that it sounds like a wonderful story and wants to hear more.
Oh my... Laid on the charm. Is he like this all the time? I could tell why he gets, like, everything he wants.
But is Ben Ben not Bing Bing, the bandaged puppy hit by a car that he then bandages up and lets sleep in his bed?
Except the car was a cliff with the sword involved. I'm
Anyways,
surprised he's not... You know other dogs?
the next day, Shen Yuan books Binghe a hair appointment.
Short-haired Binghe?
And this picture is from the new edition.
Oh my-
This is official
oh my God.
art.
Okay, they both look so fucking hot.
Right?
They both look so hot. This is killing me.
So
this
this
is
is-
making me sick.
This is who you need to be picturing. So, Shen Yuan can't help but admire him, thinking his face specs are just on another level. He laments that so many actors could only rock one style, but Binghe is so flawless from every single angle that any aesthetic would look perfect on him.
They literally both look so hot. I also love how Binghe looks like a little bit cutesier. It kind of looks like he should be the bottom in this situation.
Yes, and like I think what people forget is that he does have this earnest, honor roll student valedictorian air.
It's giving class president, I must say.
Yeah.
It's giving, it's just as Shen Yuan said.
So much so that he was almost tempted to shave it into a buzz cut.
That's so funny. Mm-hmm. I feel like
You ever seen a man so hot you want to see him bald?
it's so funny because this is just what happened in Peerless.
Yes.
Where it's literally like, the whole thing is like he shaves his head and he's like, literally nothing could stop him from being so beautiful. This actually just proved how beautiful he was because he had no hair and was still like so hot. And this is not a thought I've had before about anyone. I think that's so funny.
But he ends up deciding to get him a clean, normal short style, and he hovers over the stylish shoulder, making sure he has wispy bangs and a sense of flow and movement to his hair.
Sounds like you. You cutting my hair.
But Shen Yuan just being like, oh yeah, like little character customization scene where he's making him super hot, and it says that whenever Shen Yuan talked, Binghe would hang on to every word like it was the most fascinating thing in the world.
It's been so long since I've read Scum Villain, you know, that it's not often on my mind. But they really have something so special when it comes to simping for your love interest.
Yes.
Man, I don't think, I mean, we call Hua Chung a sin, but like blatantly so simping in such a baby girl way. Like, that is your shizzle.
Yep.
That's beautiful. Okay?
Yep.
Hua Chung plays it cool a lot more than Binghe does, you know?
It hits different when it's your shizen, I think.
Yeah. There's something special about the shizen fucking that just brings out this baby girl earnestness.
Yep. So, since Binghe was taller than him, his own clothes fit him awkwardly, so he put him in his brother's clothing. And just like that, the dark-haired demon lord transformed into a white-shirted university student.
So many odd fulfillments happening.
I like picturing him in like Shen Yuan's clothes and them like fitting a little bit too tight on him and a little cropped and him just kind of being awkward, like happy to be in his clothes. And then he'd be like, no. Binghe asks him if he likes this appearance, and Shen Yuan adjusted Lo Binghe's belt buckle. I see you, censorship. I see you, MXTX.
That's crazy.
And then meticulously rolled up his shirt sleeves to reveal a stretch of pale, strong wrist, and gave him a once-over before replying lightly, not bad. But internally, he's thinking, you're drop-dead gorgeous. Is he even allowed to look this good?
Yeah, we're exposing the wrists. That's pretty horny.
It then says, it took less than a day for Binghe to completely win over Shen Yuan's mother. He was commandeering the kitchen, handling every task himself. His mom tasted the food once and immediately launched into praise that could shake the heavens and earth, saying whoever marries Xiao Luo would be the luckiest person alive.
Luckiest person, you say? Well...
Right? And Binghe blushes and says, thank you, Auntie. Binghe also hopes for that as well.
Stop acting like a blushing maiden.
But also remember, they are married. In Scum Villain, they get married. They refer to each other as husbands. So as his mom is saying that, he is thinking about his literal husband, Shen Yuan.
My gosh. Good for them. Good for them.
Then Shen Yuan decides he wants to take Binghe out on the town to experience modern society, and his family joins. Shen Yuan adorably had imagined all kinds of scenarios. Maybe Binghe would see something unfamiliar and his eyes would go wide and uncertain like a timid puppy, and he could smile and encourage him.
His kinks.
Truly, he wants to be a Shizen like so bad.
Show him video games. Be his gaming Shizen.
Shen Yuan keeps thinking of these moments where he could guide him and teach him, like Shizen and Child all over again in
God,
such
he's missed
indulgent
that.
ways.
He's missed that. Like, how long has it been since he could really, like, be a Shizen towards him?
Exactly. But it turns out that Binghe is just too good at everything and too smart to be bewildered. Binghe studied the modern world at an inhuman, violent pace. After one night of Shen Yuan sleeping, Binghe binge studied the modern world, and that wide-eyed look was gone.
No.
He already understood this world inside and out. He devoured textbooks from elementary to university level and used Meng Mo's dream time space to binge watch the entire top 250 movie list in one night.
What the hell? He's seen Frozen? The trials and tribulations of modern life are disrupting my whimsy. So true. A little something to take the edge off. Popcorn! I love popcorn. Popcorn, hands down one of the best things in this universe.
Oh, here we go. Shen Yuan realizes that someone born in a Xianxia world would find the human world boring as hell. Airplanes? Who cares? Spirit beasts can fly. Television? Any cultivator can use a scrying mirror to see whatever they like in the world, and it's real. The internet? No use arguing while miles apart. Just go spar with someone face to face. It's more satisfying. Shen Yuan felt like he lost a major source of joy. He'd taken Binghe to the movies, and, well, even watching movies seemed pointless to Lil Binghe. Want to witness a wonder? Lil Binghe could just create one on the spot.
Wow.
And to be fair, the movie itself was horrible. And he thinks, how did it manage to have a plot worse than something airplane shooting towards the sky would write?
Damn.
Shen Yuan starts watching Binghe instead of the movie, and Binghe's expression is blank, as if he were questioning why they were even here. But then, once their eyes met, Binghe's gaze softened. The one comforting thought was, it seemed Binghe seemed to like popcorn.
Hell yes.
I love it so much. Him just being like, wow, this movie sucks. Eating
Him
corn in the dark is pretty sweet, though.
Him holding the bucket and doing like the little lizard thing, like,
Yeah, yes. Because Binghe liked popcorn, Shen Yuan's sense of accomplishment in providing for him was at the very least satisfied.
take some microwave popcorn back to the Scum Villain world.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
After the movie, Shen Yuan chats with his parents about it, and Lil Binghe is walking behind them, smiling. Shen Yuan slows to walk in step with him and says, "You didn't find today very fun, did you?" And Binghe says, "Does it matter to Shizen whether I find this world interesting or not?"
Why would you say that to your husband?
Right? Shen Yuan thinks it did maybe a little, so he says, "You're only here by a stroke of luck, so of course I wanted to show you something interesting." I'm like, I get that. Like, he's disappointed, and
Yeah.
this part is so romantic, and I love it, so I'm going to read it word for word. Lil Binghe looked down with a faint smile. "Perhaps there isn't much here that's truly fascinating, but this is the world that gave birth to Shizen's soul, isn't it?" Shen Yuan's steps faltered. Lil Binghe looked at him, the reflections of the river lights shimmering in his eyes, along with Shen Yuan's own silhouette. "For that reason alone," he said quietly, "it is extraordinary." Shen Yuan was momentarily at a loss for words. "Just for that," Lil Binghe added, his voice soft, "I want to understand it more. So Shizen, you needn't worry about whether I find its novelties amusing. It wasn't about finding the world interesting because of its contents. It was about finding the world worthy because a certain person existed within it. The world was blessed from the very start because of that." Shen Yuan blinked, then coughed slightly. All right, I get it." After a brief struggle, he added, "But next time, maybe don't study quite so hard. Leave your Shizen a little room to actually teach, will you? A student who learns too independently is bad for the teacher's ego." Lil Binghe smiled and nodded. "Understood, Shizen."
That's so cute. It's like there was like a little bit of tension, you know? Just the smallest little tinge of drama, but then they resolved it so peacefully.
Yeah, he's like, you don't find this world cool. And he's like, cool? This world is everything. But yeah, the movies suck. Shen Yuan's sister, whose name is Shen Tong, by the way, is walking behind them, and she suddenly steps on a can and like crinkles up the paper she was like eating and says, "Don't worry, I'll keep your secret."
Fujo spotted.
Then she says, "Honestly, I always knew you were destined to die alone. I just didn't expect it would turn out like this."
I'm sorry, she's like, thought you would die a virgin? Didn't think you'd be gay? What?
Yeah, I think it's like when Shen Yuan went into his coma, she was like, yeah, I always thought that would happen. But
Jesus.
It's like, did she clue in that they're transmigrators? And that they're gay? It's like she clocked them on multiple accounts.
Little sisters be damn perceptive. Don't try to keep secrets from them.
Okay, so now we're on day 4.
Oh. What's happening on Mount Everest here?
Harsh cut to what Shang Qinghua's going through.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. So, what is he up to? Is he okay?
Shang Qinghua texts Shen Yuan and says, "Do you have any idea what's happening? This is terrifying. He found me! Crawled right out of my computer like the girl from The Ring. I almost had a heart attack. My brand new laptop. My instant noodles."
What? I'm sorry, Mobi-chan just squeezed out of his laptop screen?
Yes.
That's horrifying. At least Bing had the decency to show up on his doorstep.
Well, where do you think Binghe came out from, though? We don't find out.
Who birthed Bing?
Yeah. But man, he loves his noodles. But the fact that Mobi-chan scared him and almost electrocuted him again is hilarious. But Shen Yuan thinks, where the hell did Lil Binghe pop out from? Maybe it was even more terrifying. Shang Qinghua starts asking if this makes him God, and Shen Yuan blocks him. But then he unblocks him, and Shang Qinghua says Mobi-chan looked so betrayed and on the verge of tears. He said he had to sweet talk him for an hour before he calmed down, and that he's so high maintenance. He then said that he tried taking Mobi-chan out to see the sights, but he's been so bored of everything. And then he says, sorry, my service isn't very good here. And Shen Yuan's like, where the hell are you? Turns out Shang Qinghua had brought Mobi-chan to an amusement park. But then Mobi-chan teleported them to the top of a mountain somewhere, high enough where they probably broke a world record.
I'm sorry, they went to the top of Mount Everest. Can Shang Qinghua breathe up there? Is he okay? That's so fucking funny.
Right?
What? It's like, I was like, I could just imagine how that went. Oh yeah, we'll go out to the amusement park. It'll be so fun. We could go on the Ferris wheel. Why? Because like you could get like a view really up high there. It's so nice.
Exactly. And so Shen Yuan says he probably thinks you enjoy thrill rides. So he was trying to show you that any excitement you want, he can provide right there beside you.
I love how he has to interpret Mobi-chan's stupid lack of communication.
His love language.
His love language, yes.
So anyways, later, Shen Yuan finds out that Airplane Bro had uploaded a 180,000 new word extra for Pride Immortal Demon Way.
I'm sorry, they've been here for
4 days.
4 days?
He's prolific.
Jesus Christ, what? 100, is that even physically possible? How was he not dead? How did he do that with Mobi-chan bugging him?
Well, Mobi-chan, that was before Mobi-chan got him. So it was 4 days before Mobi-chan found him.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
The forum was in chaos because now it seemed like he was suddenly writing a serious story. He was writing Shen Qingqiu like Shen Yuan's personality, and Lo Qingge was back alive, and even Binghe's parents were introduced.
Oh my, okay, so he just retconned everything. The internet would be in shambles.
This was Pride Immortal Demon Way in a parallel universe. And many people started leaving reviews about the bromance and queer baiting.
Oh my god.
But one comment makes Shen Yuan go nuts. It says, the MC is butchered. This isn't Lil Binghe. Trash.
Oh, here we go again. Keyboard warrior.
He sees red. He thinks, criticize the plot all you want, but who gave you permission to slander the protagonist? He cracks his knuckles, lines up 3 phones beside him, and begins war in the comment section. General Peerless Cucumber was reporting for duty.
I'm sorry, so is he using multiple accounts to just flame someone?
No, it's all his own account. It's like he's got multiple devices to get on all the different threads.
Oh my god.
Also, I need you to know that there's like a really long section of this extra is like funny back and forths of like Peerless Cucumber defending Lo Binghe and everyone being like, whoa, oh my god, like this guy loves Lo Binghe. And there's kind of like a repeating joke of someone else coming in being like, yeah, he just really loves Lo Binghe. But yes, the pride he felt from leaving such comments suddenly leaves as Binghe found Pride Immortal Demon Way.
Oh my god.
What's gonna happen? Wait, is this fucking play about us?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, also, like, is Shang Xinghua in danger?
Binghe chuckles and says, look what I found. This book is peculiar. You've never read it?
Mm-mm. Never seen it before in my life.
Shen says, never. He imagined Lo Binghe's world shattering as he realized he was just a character in a book, or him getting mad thinking he only saw him as a fictional person. He had no idea how to deal with either scenario. Binghe finished the book and started reading the reviews, seeing Peerless Cucumber's comments, and Binghe says, this person is rather interesting.
Everything you could possibly want in this extra happens. Like, the full wraparound of, like, every possible interaction.
Right? Binghe says they should meet with Shang Xinghua and Mobei-jun to discuss the strange book because the coincidence is just too much.
Shang Xinghua sweating.
Literally.
profusely.
Shen Yuan and Shang Xinghua aligned their stories beforehand of what to say. Shang Xinghua still sees Lo Binghe as his son, and he was afraid he would hate his father.
That is fucking hilarious. Come to daddy.
So Binghe then says, should we go to their estate? And Shen Yuan is like, Shang Xinghua's shitty apartment isn't really made for visitors. And Binghe's like, oh, Mobei-jun didn't make it sound like that. And so Shen Yuan's like, what is happening? They go to leave, and Binghe tosses keys into his hand to a giant black glossy SUV waiting for them outside.
Listen, I don't care if you binge read all of the driver's ed videos on the internet. There's no way Binghe can drive a car.
Actually, yes he can, because he's the protagonist. He can do anything. On Binghe's keys is a little Ben keychain.
Where'd he get that?
He's the protagonist.
He's just able to do anything.
Shen Yuan says, what the hell have you guys been doing in this world? And Binghe says, Shizen, there's no need to be alarmed. I promise I haven't done anything this world would consider improper. I simply believe that no matter where we are, I must be capable of protecting you. So I've made some modest arrangements. And Binghe drives them like a pro to the Moshong 3-story villa.
I'm gobsmacked. I don't know what to even think at this point.
Yep.
Anything's possible.
Yep.
How dare I doubt the protagonist? Oh my god. Oh, what in the yaoi is going on?
Oh yeah.
In Mobei-jun's villa.
Oh yeah. There, Mobei-jun is wearing a suit and sunglasses, and Shang Xinghua is looking pathetic. It is really giving Mafia Young Master. The formerly decently tall and reasonably presentable Shang Xinghua now looked like an innocent high school student standing next to a domineering CEO. His slender frame appeared especially pitiful and vulnerable, inevitably making people imagine all sorts of shocking scenarios.
So yaoi coded.
Literally. Shang Xinghua wore an expression of pure terror, his eyes silently screaming, "Don't look at me, cucumber bro. This all started when he said my place was too small and my bed was too cramped."
My god.
Anyway, he claims he didn't do anything like murder or arson to acquire all this. But as for the specific methods, I don't dare ask, and I really, really don't want to know. So no murder, no arson, but
I don't know what that leaves us. I also don't want to know.
inside the villa, Binghe presents a physical copy of Pride Immortal Demon Way for them to examine. And I'm like, a physical copy? How fucking thick is this book? It's like this big, like...
Shang Xinghua's like, oh my god, do you want that signed? I mean,
Yeah.
whoa!
Yeah.
I've never ever seen this book. This is crazy.
Yes, Shang Xinghua acts like he's never seen this book before, and then says, wouldn't the author of this book be a god? And Mobei-jun's father?
Shut up. You're gonna... Shen Yuan being like, you're gonna blow it.
He was testing how far Mobei-jun's newfound tolerance would stretch, but he doesn't even reply to the suggestion. Of course, Shen Yuan thought, Mobei-jun barely acknowledged his real father. Why would he care about some random author? It seemed Shang Xinghua's dream of hearing someone call him dad was doomed.
Dad or daddy? Because I don't think either of those are gonna happen unless Mobei-jun decides to impregnate him.
But then Binghe says that the author merely possessed some psychic sensitivity, allowing him to glimpse echoes of another world. This is not, oh, they're just characters in a book. This world was real, and Shang Xinghua literally got psychic blasts of it.
Oh my god.
This completely turns Shen Yuan and Shang Xinghua's worldview upside down. It wasn't a fictional book, it was actually a window to another reality.
What the hell?
So now there are 3 worlds. The real world, the original Pride Immortal Demon Way world, and the revised Transmigration world.
Okay, well, that's a manageable amount of worlds.
This just causes more questions, though. What was the relationship between the original world and the Transmigration world? Where did the system come from, and what is its purpose? Bingha then explains that finding the author for Pride Immortal Demon Way doesn't matter because he just had limited sensitivity to another world.
Well, I don't know if it doesn't matter. I mean, we shouldn't say the author doesn't matter,
We
right,
could call him-
guys?
we could call him God if we wanted
We could
to.
call him God and maybe
Dad.
thank him. We could call him Dad. We could still call him Dad because it's cool that he wrote this
Instead
book.
of saying the author, let's just call him Dad.
Yeah, because I'm getting confused. Honestly, there's so many authors. There's only one Dad.
Bingha basically says that the author doesn't matter because he had limited sensitivity to the other world since his portrayal of the world is so inaccurate. So he says, the characters are hollow, the logic is nonsensical, and the prose is so unbearably bloated. It was an extremely unpleasant read.
Well, I don't know if everyone would think that way, right, guys?
And then he says, also the work is profoundly vulgar. And Mobi-Jun says, why is the Braving 100's Flowers chapter so long? And Chen Yuan thinks, oh, that's when Bingha fucks 100 flower spirits, in great detail. Bingha says, flower spirits find human shapes repulsive and stay in their larvae or insect forms for life. The notion of romantic involvement is biologically impossible. And Mobi-Jun says, maybe it was a fetish.
Oh my god!
And Sheng Xinghua, and then Sheng Xinghua says, were there any parts of the books you found tolerable? But then Mobi-Jun, and every single time I give it to MXTX for writing these ships, it's really good. Mobi-Jun catches on and says, are you a fan of this book? And then he admits, yes, I'm a fan, a diehard original 10-year veteran fan. And then Mobi-Jun says, it's acceptable.
Just like that?
He likes him back.
Just like that?
Mobi-Jun loves
he too
him.
simps. Imagine the worst piece of garbage literature you've ever read. And you're like, no, it's fine. No, you like it? No, it's great. That's crazy.
Shen Yuan can't believe this, but then says, if you looked at Mobi-Jun's parts, they were acceptable. Bingha then brings up that it seems like the author sacrificed his own authentic voice in pursuit of popular appeal. He wrote the story he thought would sell. And then Sheng Xinghua says, what if our world is a story too? And Shen Yuan says, our meaning isn't given to us. We create it. We are the meaning. Next topic. And Sheng Xinghua says, wow, I didn't know you were an existentialist. And then Shen Yuan says, wow, I didn't know you knew that word. And Sheng Xinghua is like, hey, we graduated from the same prestigious school, And Shen Yuan's like, if that's the case, why is your brain full of Chinglish and bad grammar?
Just fucking destroys him instantly.
And Sheng Xinghua basically says, like, it's been a long time, since school and writing the web novel, and now Shen Xingqiu's looking at us like this.
Why are we being looked at?
There was another thought Shen Yuan kept to himself. Sheng Xinghua's idea was viscerally terrifying. It short-circuited his brain. The mere notion that some unseen audience might have been watching his entire life, every last bit of his tangled drama with Lo Bingha, their endless push and pull, he couldn't bear to dwell on it. How horrifying.
Oh my god.
Thankfully, he was reasonably sure no one would be interested in reading that particular story. Right?
That's so funny.
Isn't that fun?
That's
That gave
funny.
me chills. Like, ooh! We did see it all.
We saw it.
We saw it.
You'll never know. You'll never know. Oh, so, okay. Did Mobi-Jun actually kill somebody for the mansion?
Oh no, this is about Bingha.
Oh, Bingha is going into murder mode. Did
Bingha's-
someone give
Bingha-
Bingha the death note?
No, Bingha goes into mwahahaha mode.
Okay.
Later on, Bingha is back in Shen Yuan's room and asks him if he knows what a system is. It turns out, systems exist in Bingha's world,
What the fuck?
but they are called parasitic spirits. They are entities, like the dream demon, called portable grandfathers.
Huh?
Both require a host to complete certain tasks in return for rewards. Bingha says, Shizun, do you have a system? And Shen Yuan admits, yes, he does.
Oh my god,
And
everything's
this is
coming out!
Crazy, yes. Bingha says, it makes sense, since Shen Yuan's body in this world has no spiritual energy, a parasitic spirit must have brought him here. Then, wasting no time, Bingha says, You pushed me into the abyss because the system told you to. Is that right?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe they're talking about this. This is crazy.
And Shen Yuan is speechless, but then sighs and says yes. Binghe experiences a mix of emotions, relief, pain, and then he fucking slaps himself in the face.
What?
So hard.
What is happening?
Shen Yuan is horrified and grabs him and is like, what the hell?
Stop hitting yourself.
Binghe then says, Shizum was forced into an impossible position, and yet in the abyss I had truly held a shred of resentment towards you, and later I even frightened you.
Yeah, a shred, you could call a shred. It was a sizable shred. It was
Yuan-
definitely a sizable shred, I would say.
Shen Yuan says, how could you hit someone I raised?
It's so cute.
And comforts him, saying, a shred of resentment is very little, I don't mind. Binghe buries his face in Shen Yuan's knees. Shen Yuan remembered the look in Binghe's eyes and thinks it wasn't resentment, it was heartbreak. But he also knew this disciple better than anyone. The shred of resentment Lo Binghe spoke of probably amounted to nothing more than a moment of weakness, perhaps getting so enraged and pained that he sketched a tiny picture of Shen Qingqiu on a scrap of cloth with his own blood, stared at it for a long time, and then ate it.
Okay, his perception of Binghe is like the funniest thing ever. Like, oh my god. Why does that kind of remind me of you a little bit? It's like, babe, maybe I was a little bit frustrated for like a second. I'm like, that's okay. Stupid. Dumb. Stupid. It's like, you love me so much. I know that it could not be very much. It's good.
Shen Yuan gets him back up on the bed and takes care of the wound he had given himself on his face, applying a little ointment for him because he really hit himself so fucking hard.
Jeez.
Binghe then says that Shizen's system is really powerful and he can't even detect it, and it would probably be best for him to remove it. Shen Yuan agrees, and Binghe relaxes, but then he seemed thoughtful. Still, regardless of its origin, I must confess that part of me is grateful. If not for it, Shizen would have never come to my world, and if not for it, Shizen would have never pushed me into the endless abyss. Shen Yuan was taken aback. Why would you be grateful for that? Lo Binghe let out a soft laugh. Half of his body was cast in shadow as he looked at Shen Yuan, his gaze deep and dark. He spoke word by word. Because only an act like that would be enough to make someone as kind as Shizen remember me for the rest of your life.
What the fuck? Ooh, okay, a little yandere, a little bit yandere.
He's like, I'm glad you were forced to abuse me because you're such a kind person you would never forget about me.
Oh my god. The gaslighting king. That's crazy.
Isn't that?
That's
I love that.
That's crazy. I love
like
that dog in him.
This whole time, Binghe has been the furthest thing from toxic. Like, you've even been making jokes about, like, oh, how crazy he is. Oh, how, like, that he's going to be, like, so upset or manipulating him and do all these things. And it's like, no, he's just this perfect little boy. But then you were reminded, he does have that dog in him. He does have that toxic, obsessive boy in him.
Right? Which is great.
If you don't love your partner in a way that's a little bit toxic, do you even love them? Okay, so we have many Binghes now.
There's a secret third Bingza?
Yes. So let me explain.
Okay.
Later that night, Shen Yuan remembers that the system had told him Binghe was the system's power source. He sits up in bed and realizes Binghe isn't next to him, sharing a bed. I love that we got confirmation, like obviously they're married, but this is a censored extra, that Mo Beijun and Shang Xinghua and Shen Yuan and Binghe are sleeping together. So he gets a message from the system saying, please do not uninstall this product. Please talk to the primary source, Lo Binghe. Please do not sever the system's connection to the current holder of the account, Shen Qingqiu. On my knees crying gif.
What? That's so funny.
The system is using gifs now and pleading, please don't uninstall me. You gotta talk to Lo Binghe and convince him to not uninstall me. Thank you.
Oh my god, he hacked into the mainframe.
Shen Yuan says, if I help you, what's in it for me? The system says, you'll be rewarded a declassification dossier containing insider intel on the system's origins. So Shen Yuan agrees he will talk to Binghe about not uninstalling the system, and he is given the declassification dossier. It's a 921-page book, and he's like, I'm not reading all that. So he uses easy mode to just get the gist of it. And we learn the truth, that there are actually 4 worlds.
Huh?
The world where the original Lo Binghe was born. But that world had long since faded from existence. A world without a Bingha cannot resist cataclysmic events.
So Bingha is God.
To clear things up, we're going to call this original Bingha Bingzu, which means the ancestor of all Binghas.
What the fuck is happening?
This Bingzu sank his own father into a sea of magma with his own hands, and no one ever reached his heart, not until the very end. And Shen Yuan thinks that every Bingha is messed up in different ways. But Bingzu doesn't seem as unhinged as Bingge. He doesn't let anyone get close to him. Bingzu felt a little bit more like his Bing Mei. Bingzu lived in solitude for millions of years until he lost all desire, even growing weary of his own existence. But he yearned for a different ending. He forged a batch of parasitic spirits with his soul. These spirits were destined to seek an opportunity to fulfill his last decree, a rewritten ending. Centuries later, his world ended without its little Bingha, and the spirits drifted through time and space. They discovered web novels and decided to name themselves systems to help their host understand them. And their first candidate was Sheng Fei. One day, he subconsciously sensed fragments from the original world and wrote a novel. In his original outline, Bingha would end up alone, but he'd meet many good people and have a worthwhile life. The systems peeked at his outline and admired the work, so they gave him the power, for his keystrokes could influence the other world. But they didn't expect for him to suddenly change the plot and pander to the popular audience. So it's no wonder why Bingha went crazy when he was dealing with all these poorly written characters.
Oh my god, he fucked up Bingha's life!
They called him a creator god of a garbage verse. So the systems had another idea.
Oh my god, I can't believe that! Like, he originally was going to have, like, a meaningful story.
Yep.
And then Shang-Chi fucked it
like,
up!
I'm imagining these magical spirits being like, ah, yes, this one. He has the power to write Bingha, the world and the ending he's always wanted. And they give him the power. And then they're like, oh, fuck, oh, shit, he made the garbage verse. They decided to use transmigration. They made deals with people who despised both their world and themselves. But it was like a gotcha pull system for what character you were gonna get. What? The first candidate drew Shang Qinghua, and the system was unimpressed with him once again, as Sheng Fei was in this world as Shang Qinghua, because he would falter for Lo Bingha, but throw down for Mo Beijun.
Stop!
And he barely made an impact on the world.
Okay, so they threw him in to fix things, you know, but he just got distracted by Mo Wei-John.
Yep.
And just didn't even move the plot along. Oh my god.
So they got a candidate number 2.
My boy failure.
They picked Shen Yuan because of how dissatisfied he seemed with the story. Surely he could fix it.
Right.
But when he drew the character he would transmigrate into, they hadn't realized it was going to be Shen Qingqiu. They had no hope, but he surprised them. In his timeline, all the characters became smarter. Lolchinga was saved, and Bingha was brighter and more vibrant than ever before, and the energy he supplied the systems was warm and pure. The system that chose Shen Yuan was promoted to head system.
Shut the fuck up.
Shen Yuan then has a hilarious back and forth with the system that is using, like, kind of internet speak and emoticons and gifs, pleading to him, saying if Bingha removes him from his body, he won't be able to pay the other system salaries because he'd lose his point system reserves. He's like, I'm the head system. I've got little other systems to take care of. If you sever me from you, I'm gonna be broke.
Stop, that's so funny. What?
He then asked the system, if my integrity points hit 0, you said I'd be sent back. If so, would I have just woken up in the hospital? Affirmative.
Oh my god.
So while he thought the stakes were so high, he really could have just gone back home then and there.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Sometimes, you know what? Let this be a lesson to us all. Sometimes it's better to give up. if it's too hard, just give up.
Yeah, he wouldn't have found Bingha though. Okay. Isn't this art so good? Ugh. Bing Cho are now back in their world, sitting in a bamboo cottage connected to a newly built thatched pavilion. Bingha is making a new cup for Shen Qingqiu out of bamboo. Shen Yuan explained to his family that sometimes he might collapse without warning, and not to worry, he'd bounce back within days. Their previous separation was too sudden for proper goodbyes, and this one was filled with hope instead of sorrow. Even though crossing between worlds required immense energy that took time to accumulate, there's always some hope to do so again. Then we get little glimpses with the other characters. Shenyuan thinks about how Lo Ching-ge had gone to visit his sister and hopes their relationship can improve. Maybe they can have a book club together, as long as it's not anything by Sleeping Willow's Flower. Even Ying Ying has been reading those lately, which is the fan fiction about both of them. Xia Hualing is now wearing spiked metal shoes, which makes him think back of a guy that really wanted her to step on him in the forums.
Oh my god. She's becoming even more powerful as a... I don't even know. She's not really a goth girl, but she's something.
Yep. And Shang Xinghua replaced the Leisure House plaque at Anding Peak, but the sign ended up at Mobijun's bedchamber. And he still jump scares Shang Xinghua all the time.
What?
He then thinks back to when he first loved Lo Binghe as the main character, and how captivated he'd been with him when the story was still written with care. And I'll read the last part, word for word. He remembered the day a shipment of teacups arrived shattered at Qingjing Peak. Everyone blamed Anding Peak's careless delivery, complaining about having nothing to drink from. The new disciple, isolated and eager to connect, had carefully selected bamboo and carved cups for everyone, just as his mother had made for him as a child. But no one valued the humble gifts. The bamboo cups were knocked aside during play, forgotten as they rolled across the floor. While other disciples chased each other into the distance, laughing, the boy alone gathered the discarded cups. That lonely gaze had stirred something in Shen Qingqiu. Long before he knew how the story would end, he had felt the powerful urge to change this character's fate.
Oh my god, stop, it brings a tear to my nose.
He remembers the system's earnest words after his furious ranting that night. The world's existence rests with Lo Binghe, but Lo Binghe's reason for living rests with Shen Qingqiu. It had said that without Shen Qingqiu, what awaited Lo Binghe was loneliness and destruction, a death in which he would wish he had never existed at all. The world was changed by you. This world is your world. Beside him, Lo Binghe glanced over and smiled. What's on Shuzhen's mind? Will you share it with Binghe? Shen Qingqiu wondered, do you like this rewritten ending? He wasn't sure whom he was asking, Lo Binghe or the world itself? The world, of course, gave no answer. It had simply given up its search for a different ending, and now continued on, a gentle and unending story.
Oh my gosh. That is like... That's even better than like Happily Ever After, right?
Right?
It's the same principle, but it's like... That's kind of what you want. You want the story to go on forever, but nothing bad to ever happen again.
Exactly.
That's so beautiful. Oh.
And this reminded me of the last sentiment in the actual Scum Villain book, which is... Or perhaps the story circulating through the world might have already ended, but the story between you and me has only just begun.
That's so good. Like, you know, there was that meta part about how challenging it is to write like a sequel or an epilogue or an extra so long after the main story is finished. You know, when like the author has changed and the readers have changed so much. But this truly added so much depth to, you know, what was MXTX's like first work, you know?
Yeah.
And just really brought out all of the most beautiful parts of it, you know?
I think the 10 years that MXTX had to steep on this made it a very concisely juicy, meaningful edition. And it's so funny that there were so many little bits that, you know, do exist already in fan fiction. Like, they were scenes that people wanted to see because you could feel that the characters could have gone in those directions, right? So actually getting them from the author herself and all the little extra additions that no one else could have ever thought of is just so incredible.
It's better than what anyone could have imagined.
Yes.
Because, you know, like that kind of level of complexity that she brought together. And it shows how much I think she's grown even better as a writer over the years. It makes me really excited for whatever her next work may be.
Exactly. Me too. Exactly. The writing in this extra is like gorgeous. And I do want to thank Jin, the translator. I'll have a link to the document below, but Jin's work on this is incredible. It flows like it's a perfectly published book.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh. When you were reading the excerpts, I didn't even have a second thought. It just went so smoothly and beautifully. Oh my goodness.
There is an afterword by MXTX. She's not in jail or seclusion. This was from February 2025. Little Grasshopper is finally hopping onto the shelves in its simplified Chinese edition. Since this release coincides with the story's 10th anniversary and the publishers approached the project with such genuine enthusiasm, I decided to write a brand new side story to celebrate its reunion with all of you. Honestly, I'm as surprised as anyone. I thought it would be tough to find new things to write, originally expecting just 3,000 or 4,000 words, but once I started, the story just took off and leaped all the way to 25,000 words. That's the magic of this little grasshopper. It never fails to bring a light heart. It doesn't need chasing. It hops right onto your hand on its own, chirping and bouncing about, bright and full of energy. Yes, even this afterword is just as lively. It amazes me, how can this little one, even after 10 years, still be so vibrant? Well, it's all thanks to you, dear readers, new and old, who never forget to give it a little nudge now and then. Oh my gosh. And so it nuzzles back, reminding me, don't you forget about me. Of course, I would never forget. This book was my first full-length novel. It has rough edges, places where it could have been better, but it also holds every bit of effort I could muster back in my student days. I'll always cherish those memories, juggling classes while praying I wouldn't fail, struggling through driving lessons as the instructor scolded me, all while happily chatting with readers in the comment sections amid updates. If you weren't there back then, let me send my blessings your way. And if you were, let me give you a heartfelt hug. Thank you truly, Mo Shang Tongshu.
Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. Oh my goodness. It's so, like, obviously getting this update after so long would be, enough of a message in itself. But it's so nice to hear that she has such, like, a fond, lasting connection to this work, that she does, like, love it as one of her children, that she loves, like, the fandom, who has adored it for so long. It's just, that is so, so sweet. That is, like, just a lovely message to receive.
Yeah, it really is so good. And reading that, I got very emotional as well. Yeah. And that's the end.
Wow. That's awesome. What an incredible win for the Scum Villain fandom.
Absolutely.
Never say never. Never give up. Never what?
Never
surrender.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you would like to connect with us further and help support my channel, you can join my channel membership. If you click join next to the subscribe button, you'll have access to our Danmei game nights. Every Friday at 7 p.m. PST, we do games like Gartic Phone and Frantic Fanfic, where we take characters from Scum Villain, Have an Official's Blessing, all the Danmei. Every Danmei you can think of, the characters are in these games. And we hang out and play, and it's just a great way to connect with the incredible community with Danmei jokes, and it helps support our channel. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!